My name is Anne, and I'm sharing this story because it feels incredibly vulnerable. A deeply personal experience I've never shared with anyone close to me. Perhaps putting it into words will help me process everything that happened last summer. My brother and his wife asked me to look after their son, Ryan, while they were away for the weekend. Ryan had just turned 18, a thoughtful, intelligent young man who was always easy to be around. I agreed without hesitation, thinking it would be a simple few days of movies, snacks, and light conversation. The first day went by uneventfully. Ryan and I spent the evening watching a comedy series, laughing at silly jokes, and catching up on life. Everything felt normal, but I could never have predicted how much would change. The next day, late in the morning, Ryan mentioned he was heading out to meet some friends. I was happy to have the house to myself for a while, and decided to relax in my room with the door slightly ajar. I spent some time scrolling through social media and then turned on a light-hearted show. Everything seemed fine until the door suddenly opened. Startled, I turned to see Ryan standing there with a surprised expression. "Anne, I forgot my keys," he said quickly, but his face betrayed more than his words. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. My cheeks flushed with embarrassment as I struggled to compose myself, wishing I could disappear. "Ryan, you should knock," I managed to say, my voice trembling. His expression shifted nervously, and he stepped back, murmuring, I'm sorry," before turning and leaving the room. The rest of the day passed in awkward silence. Ryan avoided making eye contact, and I felt a tension in the air that hadn't been there before. That evening, as we sat in the living room, I decided to address the situation. "Ryan," I began cautiously, "about earlier. Let's just forget it, okay?" He nodded quickly, but his expression remained unreadable. I thought that would be the end of it, but the unease lingered. In the following days, Ryan seemed to find excuses to be around me more often. Small touches, lingering glances. It all felt strange. Yet there was an undeniable connection forming between us. One evening, while I was cleaning up after dinner, Ryan approached me. His voice was hesitant, but firm. "Anne, can we talk?" I turned to face him, drying my hands on a dish towel. "Of course. What's on your mind?" I can't stop thinking about what happened," he admitted, his cheeks reddening. "Ryan, it was an accident," I said quickly. "There's no need to dwell on it. It's not just that," he said, stepping closer. "I feel different when I'm around you, like I can talk to you about anything." His words took me by surprise. I didn't know how to respond, so I stayed silent, waiting for him to say more. "You're someone I trust completely," he continued, "and I think I might feel something more than that." His confession left me stunned. Ryan was my nephew, and the thought of anything beyond familial affection was unthinkable. Yet, as he stood there, vulnerable and honest, I couldn't deny the pull I felt. It wasn't right, and yet I couldn't ignore it. "Ryan," I said, softly, "this can't happen. Your family." "I know," he replied, his voice cracking, "but I've never felt this way before." I placed a hand on his shoulder, trying to steady us both. "We have to set boundaries. Whatever you're feeling, it's not something we can act on." Despite our conversation, the tension between us didn't dissipate. Ryan's presence became a constant reminder of the complicated emotions swirling inside me. I tried to focus on my own life, but his messages and visits continued. One night, I received a text from Ryan. "Can I come over? I need to talk." I hesitated but eventually replied, "Okay." When he arrived, his expression was serious. "Anne," he began, "I know you said this isn't right, but I can't stop thinking about you. You make me feel understood in a way no one else does." "Ryan," I said firmly, "this isn't about what we want. It's about what's right." "Then why does it feel so real?" he asked, his voice full of frustration. I had no answer. The truth was, I didn't know why. But I knew we couldn't let these feelings take over. Over time, we managed to maintain a semblance of normalcy. But every shared glance, every moment alone, carried the weight of unspoken emotions. Ryan's honesty forced me to confront my own feelings I wasn't ready to admit. My marriage had been strained for years. My husband, Mark, was often distant, consumed by work. The emotional void I felt with him only made my connection with Ryan more confusing. One night, after Mark left on a business trip, Ryan texted me again. "I need to see you." I replied, "Not tonight. It's too complicated." "Please," came his immediate response. "I'll keep my distance. I just need to talk." Against my better judgment, I agreed.